All right, to take us into our final LCS game, let's throw it over to Freak and Kobe. Take it away, gents.
Thank you very much, Riv. If they don't play bad champions, they're going to win. That's slightly more specific than if we don't lose, we're going to win. Reggie's improving his prediction calling.
He got first-hand experience now. That was his coaching was just, if you don't lose, then you'll win. Now that he's played the game,
as a player, he picks champions and then wins the game. So, of course, without further ado, let's get to it. Team Coast versus Evil Geniuses. This should be a great match. These teams have similar play styles, and they started to hit their stride in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Coast in particular, they had a huge week dealing TSM their first defeat since week 1, and that was with Burger King on the team. So that broke their 11-game win streak.
And, of course, they're able to do it without, broke TSM's 11-game winning streak. And these guys were able to do it without getting back into Jax in the top lane, without Needly in the mid lane, without the heavy split push. They did something else here.
Yeah, both these teams are really bring incredibly strong solo lanes to the game. Shifter and Pobelter had the highest KDAs of week 6 for the mid lane. And then Coast game against CLG, Zion Spartan was the only person on his team to score kills, with Shifter getting 2 assists, and the rest of the team having a 0% kill participation. So the rest of Coast has to step it up because their solo lanes literally did all the work in the last one.
Yeah, it's true. Even though Aframu said in our like beginning of the day interview, he said, "Oh yeah, Coast is in the top 4 bottom lanes."
That's why Double Lift was like, "What?"
Yeah, and Double didn't agree. To be fair, he didn't agree. But I mean, we had some guys saying they're really good, and we'll see if they step up here. We have seen Evil Geniuses solo lanes as well put up big numbers, just like in their win over Dignitas this last week.
Yeah, Snoopy kept the pressure on the mid and the top lane. He was balancing there. He got Inox and Pobelter both ahead, and it resulted in the biggest win of the split for them. To give you an idea of how well that game went, Inox playing a top lane Gragas ended the game 6-1-5 with an 11 KDA, while Pobelter did not die a single time on his way to those 7 kills that he racked up.
Yeah, pretty good score for these guys overall. Now, in their 2 meetings, Coast has gotten the upper hand both times, but they say if Evil Geniuses can capitalize on their individual strengths, they're going to be a dangerous opponent.
Coast has had ups and downs, and they started like pretty okayish and then was shaky again, and now a lot of their wins are against us actually, so we gotta respect them for sure.
EG's problem is they don't know exactly where their strengths lie as a team, and I think once they understand the strengths of each individual on their team and really utilize them, I think they'll become a stronger team.
The biggest thing you need to watch out for in Coast is that they're Zion Spartan getting these hyper carries that scale really well into the late game.
Last weekend, they had completely out-rotated us, and they managed to stall us out completely. So if they can do that and keep out-rotating us, then they have a fair shot at winning.
So you gotta make sure we don't give them what they want, and then identify the way they're gonna play the game. How are we gonna play the game? Not what are we gonna play, but how are we gonna play, and how are we gonna counter what they do.
We have been doing pretty well recently, but I don't think we should get ahead of ourselves because EG is still a very good team, and we could still lose to them. So I think we're going to just have to be on our toes, and I think we can take them down.
So it's the how you play the game, not what you play. Contrary to the just don't pick bad champions.
We're getting even more in depth. But actually, on a serious note, I do like that. There's a long-time RTS player, Grubby, who like 8 years ago had a line. He said, "Whenever I'm playing a game, I envision how I win the game, like what happens that makes my opponent surrender, and he plays for that status." Yeah. And so he kind of like works from like the back in and sort of goes for
start with your win condition and come all the way back to how do I get there?
Yeah, so we'll see how the teams can visualize it. Let's check out the starting lineup for these guys. On the blue side, that is going to be Coast. Zion Spartan in the top lane, Nintendude in the jungle, Shifter in mid, Wiz Fusion on AD carry, and Daydreamin on support.
And on the red side, it is Evil Geniuses. Up top is Inox. In the jungle, it's Snoopy, Pobelter's mid, Yellow Pete on AD carry, and Crepo on support.
It's going to be a fun game for these guys, and honestly, it's interesting because it's these like latecomers into the season, right? Coast went from 8th place at the beginning of, I believe, week 5 into tied for 5th, about to take sole control. Dignitas got a loss here, so they're even closer to getting top 4. And Coast had this gigantic rise of late, including their win over TSM. Evil Geniuses, again, similar situation. Started out really slow in the beginning of the season, very few wins. They're up to 5th place as well, and they're going to start breaking out. And I want to see if these guys can keep their sort of forward momentum and get some more wins in the season.
Yeah, and especially against each other. These two guys, these two teams, have spent a lot of time with each other outside of the game. And as well, they talked about a lot of the wins that Coast got are actually against EG. There's a little bit of a rivalry brewing between them.
It is. We'll see how this one goes with this one, although some people say it's not a rivalry if the other team doesn't win any. So EG's got to make this one happen to make it a true Gragas, Pantheon, Cassidy in the band so far. You really don't give Shifter Cassidy. You give very few people Cassidy, but Shifter's one of them.
Yeah, that you definitely don't.
Definitely you don't. The guy is a
I don't know what they're all
scary man.
cracking up about. We need to listen in on that chip
I
select.
can't believe they banned Pantheon. Subi didn't carry last game on that one.
See, whoever told the joke was way funnier than you, so I definitely need that listen in.
Man, that's just mean.
Man, Coast definitely very serious about this, though. 2 mid lane bans already focused at Shifter. 2 down probably means they'll do a third. And
Is it going to be Ari?
This might cause Coast to rethink their situation here. Maybe if they were going to ban a mid lane champion, they'll actually save it so they have another option, since EG exactly will probably go with the Ari. Shifter definitely making the comeback with that Lichbane Ari versus TSM, making it famous.
I think it's Krepo making the jokes. He's like really gesturing very heavily, like Yellowbeat's looking over at him.
It's just cold.
He's just making a lot of moves. The Jax goes away from Zion Spartan. I don't think anyone's surprised here. So Elise for Nintendo, all the junglers aside from Pantheon get through. Nintendo getting first pick of the litter.
So many bans for the solo lanes. Definitely going to be able to pick up whatever jungler you want. Elise is a first pick jungler for many, many players in the pro scene for obvious reasons. Very, very strong early pressure. And she also has a good answer for Vi, actually. I like having Elise into Vi because a lot of the times if Vi's trying to counter gank you, catch out in a bad spot, repel her ultimate, and you can easily turn that around, but they don't lock it in.
Yeah, EG make, I think, a smarter audible there with Olaf, and I feel like Olaf could beat up Elise in the jungle, because she'll get you low, and then you'll hit W and just like lifesteal at 500% attack speed.
Yeah, so with Elise, a lot of it depends on is she getting the jump on you, because her combo is devastating. If she starts it off, from a bush or something, gets the full cocoon into full rotation of damage combo, then you're at half life when you start the battle with her before you even get to retaliate. But if the Olaf can dodge at least the cocoon, then he'll be fine in that matchup. And he brings so much early game damage that he can handle himself.
Yeah, and it's funny because even, outside of power concerns where, of course, he's gone for Elise, Olaf is basically Nintendo's favorite champion. So I feel like he'll know a lot of what Studio can bring to him and play around it. We'll see if that happens there. Lucian and Thresh picked up here for the bottom lane there, getting mostly the pick of the litter there. Of course, Caitlyn already grabbed for Yellow Pete. We'll see how these guys stack up.
Yeah, what kind of support do you want to run into this Thresh? Probably an Annie, I would say, for Krepo. But Krepo, he's actually one of the guys that talks about how Thresh is a very strong counter to Leona, whereas many people go the other way with it, just because Krepo really good with those timings on the plays. Yeah. We'll have to see if he actually wants to take the reverse matchup or not.
Well, we've seen actually, like, lane matchups can be very different from what happens in the actual endgame matchups. If you think about, I believe it was our second game of the night, where it was like, yeah, they had Leona. We had to always be afraid of the ability of Saint to start to fight out with Leona ulti, and they managed to play around it there in team fights. There it is going to be Annie picked up. The Shyvana likely top lane here for Inox. So happy to play a nice safe bruiser top laner there.
Now, it's a pretty beastly front line here for Evil Geniuses already in the works.
Which way do you think that's going? Top Lee Sin or top Elise?
I think it'll be top Lee Sin. That's a very Inox style champion.
Zion.
Zion. Oh, yeah. Well, Zion, same thing. Inox and Zion are very similar
players.
So, Zion Spartan, big fan of the Hydra Lee Sin. I wonder if he'll go with that split pushing strategy that has worked out so well for them.
We'll see. It's going to be fun to watch for. We did actually see top Elise.
Yeah.
It was played in the EU LCS this week.
Elise is very, very poor at split pushing, though. She's not strong with the wave clear. It takes her a long time to shove that up. So, again, yeah, I think it's going to be Nintendo jungle Elise, top lane Lee Sin, going up against that Shyvana.
Ooh, looking at the mid laner for Pobelter here, knowing he's fighting against Nidalee, and it's going to be Zed picked up here for Pobelter. So, very different styles of mid laner. Shifter, of course, back to Nidalee here. Happy to play that champion. I do want to see how this game matches up there, because as much as we talk about Lee Sin being a split pusher, he has much less team fight presence than Jax. But this is like the same type of team that Coast ran 2 weeks ago when they got their 2-0 week.
Yeah, exactly. And the Nidalee heals, they'll help out that Lee Sin, but it's not really the the maximum synergy that you get with that Jax, who just obliterates people with any sort of attack speed. They're just playing tricks with us now. We wait till the 10 seconds, and then we'll make the final call on that switch.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we can talk about that mid lane because Pobelter, his love for Zed has been reignited. He's a lot more confident in the lane matchups now after revisiting the champion. You know, a lot of people just ditched him after the slowing of the shadows, the little changes to him. But it's been long enough that people have been putting back the games on him, and they're getting used to the timing. And once you get used to the timing, he's still just very similar in power to what he used to be.
He just does different things. He one-shots you a bit less, but he gets out a little bit better. Now, guys, we've seen the lineups, we've seen the players. Let's get into the Rift and do some quick calculations. According to lolesports.com, 57% think the evil geniuses are going to be the intellectual superior in this match. 57%, very close margin here. And even though Coast has the 2-0 record against these guys heading into it, fans still voting for those guys.
Yep, voting against the numbers here. See if they can turn it around. Team Coast this time, as you said, very similar composition to the previous split push that they were going with. So that makes me think the Hydra Lee Sin is in Zion's future. That actually, it depends on a pretty good early lane. So I don't know about the jungle pressure from that Elise. Maybe an early visit top. I mean, it's a very, very strong tower diving combo.
A lot of damage.
I mean, the tower dive, though, especially because they both have executes, it's definitely a strong move if Nintendo can get control of that top side.
You know, I have seen top Lee Sin a little bit in the pro scene. Insec, the former top laner of KT Bullets, if I have my roster correct, played a Brutalizer Last Whisper Rush Lee Sin. Yeah. And just like, I'm going to burst someone out with Qs.
He also takes teleport, though.
Yeah, true.
Zion has a different game plan. He just wants to shove solo by himself all the way into the base of EG. EG with a classic bottom invade here. They do this quite often, so Coast would probably be very familiar with this strategy.
Yeah. Krepo has a stun. Wisfusion has not learned a skill yet, so we'll have flash and the dash if he needs it. Waiting around for him here. EG just waiting on this side. You've got Yellow Pete up to the north a bit, spotting out if someone wants to invade from the river. When will they go for Wisfusion? Because right now, otherwise, Coast are being completely defensive. And there's nothing they can do right now where they stand. Their wards aren't available. They can't put anything down.
So they just pinged out that bottom or the back side of the red bush there, throwing that volatile spider. They know nobody's in there for EG. That's got to make Wisfusion a little bit more antsy. He's already walking back and forth pacing. He's ready for the invade, but knowing that they aren't that top side, definitely going to tip him off.
Okay, so the recalls come in. Wisfusion managed to watch this try-bar successfully. No one came through. And the junglers are going to start, let's see.
Bottom side.
Bottom side, yes indeed. EG going to give their jungler a leash. Coast much more selfish in their duo lane. Going to go for the early lead there against the Caitlyn Annie lane. Well-timed Q, and they're going to start this one out. Snoopy loading his Q, of course. Standard Olaf start. Very fast jungle clear for this Olaf. Nintendo slowly getting down this camp. At least she has Spiderlings for company. Olaf at least had friends. Mid lane matchup. Actually, a couple of minions actually missed by Shifter. I guess one, technically. Okay, 2 minions missed by Shifter. Come on, man. Not even getting pressured yet.
Well, a lot of Zed's laning phase depends on hitting those Qs, and Pobelter did just miss his Q as well. So, not a perfect start already for both.
We'll see what happens. Zion Spartan starting with E, Tempest Cripple. Does magic damage. See if that matters much in this thing. Actually, it's kind of interesting because you would normally stack armor against Lee Sin, but if he wants to max Tempest and Cripple, he'll do decent damage against an armor stacker. Good damage there on a Krepo, actually.
It's a combo. Nice trade back there for EG.
Yeah.
Yellow Pete does not back away when his support is attacked, and they get a favorable trade. Very well done by him. Now that the double buffs are up for at least, that level 3 first gank, see what he can do with this one, because that's one of her strongest moments in time. Placing the ward does mean that Pobelter should be aware of the presence of Nintendo topside river here.
He pinged out the route that Nintendo took right there. Looks like he's safe for this one. And Daydream went deeper utility tree. Had enough gold for 2 potions, whereas Prepper only had enough for 1. So both these guys 1 potion deep into their opening builds. But Daydream back up to full there after that trade. We'll see if they can make some more way in. Zion Spartan up to level 3. Just 1 point and everything. Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can build the Lee Sin. You can actually max any of his abilities first and have a reason to do so. So I want to keep track on what Zion goes for here.
And round out bottom lane, even though they helped out with the pull, because Caitlyn is great at shoving, constantly auto-attacking, and they did a pretty good job in that trade, they were able to get the minion wave back in their favor.
And we can see that
Ooh, the ping up top there for Elise.
All right, there's no ward.
He might be coming for that early dive I was looking for.
See where it goes with this one. He's so far just chilling in the river brush. Pobelter looking for damage on Shifter, gets a bit.
Again, Qs don't land.
True.
He's not going to get that harass that he wants.
Just regenning off the Doran's ring. Doran's shield for Pobelter, meaning only little. Yeah, lands the Q. There we go. And it's going to be, and I believe you can always see that ward go down. So Coast should know about that lane ward, but it's just going to be the recall for Nintendude.
That was 15 seconds up top for Nintendude. Not getting anything out of it. Just pure waste of time right there. For jungle Elise, not the best start. Meanwhile, Snoopy trying to make something happen. Already with a ward in this push, though, might be wasted time for him as well.
Yeah, this feels weird because the lane's not pushing out anyway.
There's no way. They aren't playing aggressive either. So.
Yeah, I feel like Snoopy's going to waste his time here as well. Damage on a Daydream. Damage,
Walked
go
onto
for
a
it. Hops
trap.
Ghost. Flashed by Daydreaming, though. It's all he's going to get.
Yeah. Talk about wasting time. He just walks right on a trap. Easy follow-up stun there from Crepo, and they get a flash.
All right, it's going to be damage on the Inox now again. Zion Spartan level 5 here. Same for Inox. Of course, maxing burnout, pretty standard. The Lee Sin, 2 points in Tempest Cripple.
You can always tell who the aggressor in the lane is going to be, though. Doran's Blade started versus Doran's Shield started. Obviously, Zion trying to shove. Get as many auto attacks as he can. It also benefits the lifesteal that he gets from his Safeguard. So,
yeah,
it's going to help him out in the sustain game.
See what he can get out of this one. 5 health per auto attack, extra 10 AD, going to leech a bit. There's Fujin 43 minions to Yellow Pete's 36, so a small lead here. Remember, this is a lane where at one point EG got 3 kills by about 3 minutes, Yellow Pete getting 2 of them, and the lane still went even. So as far as history is concerned, Coast have done pretty well in this duo lane matchup. Right now, a small lead of 4 minions. We'll see where it goes from here. But they're both getting close to the money for a BF sword. About 200 gold shy in
this is a perfect time to go for the dive, and I like how Snoopy is in the area.
Ooh, nice choice.
Very well predicted dive, but Zion goes for
dive
the
in
solo.
for Zion, finds him alone, level 6, makes it happen, makes the push happen just in time. Snoopy unable to help. Nicely played.
Wow, Zion.
And some excited fans. Wow! Nintendo wanted it.
Snoopy's got to watch himself there, though. Nintendo making some plays for himself, and they're able to get control of the turret. That means another wave that will at least die to it.
Yeah, and
split decision has to go for tower damage, though.
But they got the best of both worlds there, so they don't get the turret, but they got the kill on the top laner. And because of the damage on Snoopy, he didn't even get to leech the experience himself. So you said, yeah, the minions got lost. They completely did.
Plus, even though EG saw there was a pink ward in there, and the axes from Olaf landing onto Nintendo, they weren't able to go clear it out. So now he has to clear it out late. He misses out on minions while he's doing this.
Though.
Another bush gank here. Nintendo constantly chugging those potions, even at max health. He just hit level 6. He has enough fury for his.
There's a slow.
He
missed a cocoon.
Whoopsies.
That's unfortunate. Going to shove the wave, maybe one more, then they're going to go back. We'll see what items they go for. Shifter opens up with a cloth armor and a Tear of the Goddess. Wants the mana, but wants the armor.
Showing up there, because he spent so much time in that bush, not only did he waste that time, but he also tipped off EG that there's nobody down by Dragon to contest it. Great call here from EG, immediately collapsing. That was maybe 5 seconds after they just saw Elise up top. Boom, everybody's in place. Great objective for EG.
500 gold lead despite the top lane gank making it happen and pushing Snoopy back to base. Well done here. Both junglers sitting on a Spirit Stone and Boots. Inox getting a quick push up the top lane. And it is going to be team out. So you're right, it's going to be at least a team out here for Zion Spartan. Wanted to go attack damage focused. Points, by the way, going into Tempest and Cripple. Magic damage for him. A lot of AoE, a lot of wave clear. See what he does with it. Nintendo level 6 blue buffs respawning here. We'll see where they go.
Yeah, he's a little late if he wants to go for any kind of invade. And it would even be a bad decision because now at this point, Olaf does have his ulti. Even if he gets cocooned, he can come out on top. Nintendo just put a lot of money into that vision control, though. So I really want to pay attention to this pink ward placement. if he's looking at putting it in that top bush of the river, then he's not only going to be able to place his, but remove the EG pink ward.
True.
Get a 2-for-1.
Really, really powerful. They can make it happen.
Oh, he's going for it, and he pinged it out.
Yeah.
Very happy about that one.
They do know it's warded, though. He put the ward down first. So they'll be like, by the way, avoid this brush, but that's fine. Not that dangerous for these guys. Coast Shifter in the mid lane, back on Needly once more. 71 to 85 in minions. Small lead to Pobelter in that matchup. Look at the AD carries, small lead to his fusion, but otherwise these guys pretty much trading equally. You see the gold now only 200. So it was 500 when the dragon went down, shrunk a little bit more here. These AD carries just going for their bloodthirsters and starting out the game normally.
Snoop is just hard farming as well on Olaf. He wants to get beefy before he makes any action happen. Interesting choice there. Whenever you have a top laner that's already losing the lane, it is dangerous to try and go up there too, because Nintendo has shown a tendency to continue to gank that lane, and if you run into a 2 versus 2 situation where your top lane is already going to be behind, then not only are you going to lose one lane, but you also lose control of your jungle. I think it's a good job by Snoop.
Oh, flash play to Yellow Pete. Oh, the hook lands afterwards.
Whoa.
Well played, Daydreamin'. Makes the kill happen out of nowhere.
So Nintendo, this visit bottom, very, very successful. He placed that, no, that was a previously played. That was Krepo's, or Daydreamin'. Daydreamin's pink ward in the tri-bush.
Well done by these guys. Shifter's going to clear away some minions some more.
Pobelter.
16 minions. Pobelter's leading. Heading towards the bottom. They spot at least a little bit. Not too much found. Pressure on this turret, but they got to be careful not to get counterattacks. Snoopy's waiting in the wings. No gank comes through though. Nintendo's safe.
Now I want to watch Pobelter's
Gonna find the
progress in the mid lane here, because Pobelter is actually the best option for a counter split push for Zion Spartan. Towards the end game, they actually aren't going to want Inox up there trying to go head to head. They're probably going to opt for Pobelter to take over those duties. And the first meeting between Zion and Pobelter will really tell a lot about how the rest of the game is going to go.
For what it's worth,
Definitely want to keep an eye on that matchup.
For what it's worth, I really like Lee Sin in that matchup. Because you can kick Zed away as soon as he ults in, and unless he puts his W down in time, he can't come back. And then Zion can just like full heal off a minion wave with his W. So I want to see how it actually pans out, because Pobelter might be able to burst him out all at once.
The fight is going to go very quickly.
Yeah.
When they do meet, and when they do meet, so he might even be walking down here. I like that defensive ward that was placed by Snoop after his pink one was dead.
Another stun lands into
man.
Krepo. Goodbye. Daydream picks it up with an ignite tick. 1-0 and 1.
Whoa.
Blocked by Wiz Fusion. Nice. Protecting his jungler. The fight here in the top lane. Snoop is coming soon. Zion Spartan and Inox down to have about half HP each, but Inox getting the better of him right here. No. Uh-oh, he's still going in, but there's an Olaf nearby. The Flash Dragon form is not going to be enough. Zion jumps to a trinket.
Lane, especially lane ganks against Lee Sin, often extremely ineffective because he has so many escapes. So not much going to happen there. I think that might have been a little bit desperate from Snoopy because Nintendo is camping bottom. He wants to make something happen.
He laughs at him. He laughs and puts the recall down. Zion, half HP, not afraid at all
Tags him.
of these two. Goes in onto ward, kicks Inox back. And there comes the lead, so they have the damage they need. Zion running away with Ignite on him, goes into the fight because he needs to. They should 1-for-1 Nintendo versus Snoopy. Not good for Nintendo. Has to flash away. 1-for-1 fight.
Close there.
Close.
But yeah, it is going to be Snoopy with control of the lane, so he has the option of pushing it. Both of them back off and leave it.
Yellow Pete is not having a good time in this lane. He is losing health constantly. And the fights are going better and better for Coast right here. After we might have been right about this read.
Lucky for Pete, though, he's got a Vamped Scepter up on Wiz Fusion, so he's trying to sustain as best he can under the turret. Get as many autos off as possible.
It's going to be the minion skill. Every time we look at Shifter, he's like wave clearing as Cougar form under his turret. Pobelter is constantly pushing him and then leaving, trying to make plays, and he can't find anything to do. He's constantly looking, gets halfway down the river, and is like, nope, they see me.
Well, there's not a lot of options right now for Shifter. He's gone with a tier start for Nidalee.
Sure.
There's no power there. He's just trying to get as much money as possible from farming and stack up the tier. Now that he goes back to base, purchasing that Nidalee large rod, plays are possible.
Nintendo vs. Pobelter, some good damage coming across. Pobelter has the ulti. But of course, Nintendo could repel the application. Not in human form, though. That is not good for Nintendo. He should not have switched forms there. Good pick up there, Pobelter.
That's going to be really good news for Pobelter. He can finish his Brutalizer with that and go to see if he can match with Zion up top.
Take some turret shots for his trouble, but you can see this turret taking more and more pain, down about 1/5. No wards for Zion, though, and his trinket's down. So, no, it's back up. I take it back. He's got wards, too. So he's ready to jump away if he needs to.
All right, Snoopy has to be drawn to the mid lane after the aggression that Pobelter just put out. So they do know where EG's jungler is. Could open up the rest of the lanes for more aggression here. As you can see, Zion pressing Inox very, very hard.
Yeah, he's doing some good damage here. If Inox runs out of potions, he's going to have to give up the turret without jungle pressure. Actually, the recall comes in from Inox right now, and no one's coming to help. So Zion Spartan might soon be rewarded with a turret kill for his Lee Sin vs. Shyvana matchup.
Same thing for Belter, though. And Shifter's still just as squishy as he used to be.
True. Cloth armor not that defensive. Zion 250 gold for killing the turret and being near it. Good ward sweep by Pobelter. Already the red trinkets, 3 red trinkets this early on for EG. They are already trying to get vision control.
The next successful gank, either mid or bottom, will turn into a dragon, though. And that dragon will be worth much more than the first. So this dead, even game, just so close right now, will easily be tipped here. Did Nintendo sneak past that pink? He's trapped himself in this
pink
in the dragon pit.
Getting slow by Snoopy, puts the ulti on. He's not going to get CC'd at all. Lantern
Takes
comes
a lot
in.
of damage, though.
Yeah. Down about 2/3. Nintendo about the same.
Both top laners immediately coming down. Hey guys, dragon fight time.
Yep.
Everybody's joined the
They're
party.
fighting in the mid lane now. Level 11 for Zion. Doesn't want to go in. Scared of Pobelter for good reason. Ruin King is done for Pobelter, though. He has hit a pretty big power spike right now. Scary man to watch out for in fights. And level 11.
He actually had enough to finish the whole Ruin King instead of going with the Brutalizer. Very big spike for him right now. The ward coverage around this Dragon Pit, very important for both teams. I like this one from Snoopy because Elise and Lee Sin, very, very easy for them to do Dragon over the back. So even if you have vision leading into the pit, you actually have to have vision of the Dragon itself, see the life bar, make sure they aren't sneaking it behind the wall.
See if they can find it. Shifter does not dodge the Q. Pick off the minions some more. These guys just keep flaming back and forth, but the bottom lane turret, the push is just there for Nintendo. Looks like no one's there to answer it.
Inox went top here, but Zion stayed bottom. So they take a turret. Now they have control of the dragon area. They actually even started up. Inox is on his way. This could be a very explosive fight.
This will be interesting. It's going to be a 5-on-5 pretty soon. Hook onto Snoopy. He's going to go in for this one. Ulti not yet available for a second. Pobelter almost there for Daydream, and he would die if they go for it. Cocoon's going to stop the ulti in, but there's Timbers onto 2. His Fusion low on health. In comes Zed. Zion Spartan's going to kick him back. Pobelter low on health, burning down. They're going to flash over the wall. Nintendo's still trying to run. He might die as well. It's going to be the ulti coming across. Inox picks up one, but the answer comes back in. Pobelter does burn to death thanks to Zion Spartan, but EG thinks they have control over the dragon. Down to half. Oh, Crepo!
Spear's still available, though. Blue buff on
there's no smite. There's no smite. It's picked up with the javelin anyway. Nintendo, oh man, doesn't even need to be part of the team. Zion Spartan picks up the kill. Javelin lands on the yellow Pete. Zion shows up for Inox. He's gonna have to slow up soon. Can he keep chasing? Wow, Shifter made so much happen there.
This is really, really bad for EG. Not only did they lose the dragon to the spear, but they also lost control of the map, and it will be another turret. All right, let's take a look again here, because Snoopy, he got hooked, and Daydream went on him because they had just done an exchange down bottom. Meanwhile, Crepo stunning all the damage here. Snoopy thinks they've got control of the area, but since the ult went on Elise, who was going to die already. Wow, more people dying while we're watching the replay.
Does some damage. Didn't even need to ult flash for it, but that's fine. 8-3, mid lane turrets dead. 3-0 on turrets. Wow, Co's doing great this game.
All right. Too much happening there, even during the replay. Everybody down the tower. So Co's really running away with this one. Now Pobelter is trying to get his split push game rolling here. That's pretty much their only answer at this point. Trying to split push that bottom and siege up with the Caitlyn. Yellow Pete definitely a couple inches away from death there. Has to watch out from all the skill shots.
Bottom lane turret gets successfully split pushed though. Pobelter taking that one. Coast not afraid of that one. First turret to go down for their team. I want to point out WizFusion's weird build, though. He opened up with a BF sword, and now he's going towards Ruin King. And it might be Ruin King Infinity Edge, or he just like wants the Cutlass for lifesteal and goes somewhere else, but I've not seen this particular opening from an AD carry before.
Yeah, interesting split there from him. Probably had to do with the gold values on backing. That's what a lot of the answers are whenever we see those split buys.
Yeah, it costs 600 to go from Vamp Scepter to Cutlass, and so you could have waited 200 gold for a Bloodthirster and just decided, now I'll do something else here. See where it goes. It'll be interesting.
One does not simply wait for 200 gold.
Not in the base.
In the base.
Kill a couple of minions, Nintendo do some damage on a Yellow Pete, who does have a Bloodthirster done. Ruin King does come out for Wiz Fusion, so
they're getting a top turret for this.
Yeah.
Pressure mid though.
this is good splitting.
Inox should be able to do this. Now, we've seen this comp so much here from Coast, where there's the Elise, Nidalee, and Thresh combo.
Yeah.
And it's all about the one skill shot landing, chaining into multiple skill shots. We just see those three together so often. And it also just doubles the importance of blue buff for that team, because they really need to be able to keep up Shifter's mana. So not only will he be looking to get every single one of his blue buffs, but control of the EG blue buff also extremely important to them. So now that they have this lead, I'm expecting a lot more vision into the jungle of EG here from Coast. Currently, they haven't been able to get anything down up there. But now, since they do have control, maybe they'll be able to have some scouting missions.
Let's see what they do with this one. Still only one red trinket for Coast. So they're not really removing vision. They're happy to get just wards up for themselves.
Don't worry, the spear missed. Camera guy, you're cool.
He was trying to juke it himself. Well, get the cursor away from there.
He got scared. He had nightmares.
The cursor can take damage. Inox kicked over the wall into Daydreamin'. Flay's not going to make him stop. Inox jumping back over as a dragon. Looks like they're going to be safe, but top lane push has begun. Inox is not available for this fight. Coast's going to back off as well, though.
This is an interesting dynamic here because they're such a poke-heavy team, but they're the ones pushing. They really rely on Thresh for all of the counter engage here. If you can set up a good box, then it will really allow them to continue to throw out multiple spears. They're just looking to sit here as long as possible. As soon as Shifter hits one onto one of those priority targets, that's a low priority target.
Okay, Snoopy getting CC. That has to run backwards there. Doesn't pop his ulti yet, but he's squishy now. These tanks losing health pretty rapidly. Javelin's still coming through. I think they might be one wave away from getting this turret.
Zion Spartan going through the bush that does have a ward in it, and he still lands his skill shot.
You must have Randuin's Omen second. So he kind of was aware of what you were talking about before, the Pobelter Zion Spartan matchup, and he's like, I can't let Zed beat me.
Exactly. All right, they go pretty weak on the turret this time, actually. Not a lot of offensive wave clear. Snoopy goes hard.
He pops the ulti, pops the ghost. He goes in for Nintendo. There comes Pobelter. They find his fusion. He is likely to die in this one. So much pain coming across from Pop's barrier. The shield from Zion Spartan keeps him alive as he kites back. Pobelter in the front lines. Not where he wants to be. Zion Spartan doing the acrobatics. Can he get to the lantern, get out? He's trying. There he goes. Safeguards to the lantern and makes his way out. 1-for-0 in an acrobatic battle.
And Nintendo lived as well.
Yep.
50 HP he was down to, right back up there. They've got a blue buff Nidalee on their team. Easy to re-engage on the siege. Great job by Coast kiting out there. They were able to effectively deal with all the hard engage here from EG. Stupe leads the charge here as he should. Pobelter flashing in and getting the full combo onto Wiz. They actually blocked the ace in the hole. That was huge. Full culling to Pobelter. And this is where Zion finishes him off.
The knee to the back.
So he could either safeguard a Wiz or the Lantern. Lantern looks way cooler.
Yeah,
and Wiz backed off there, so style points for Zion.
And it's 2 shields. Once you land, you get your safeguard shield and the lantern shield. Make sure you don't take too much damage on the way out. In addition to the style points. Pobelter back to the bottom lane. Level 13 on this guy. Has his Brutalizer done. The last Whisper coming soon. So that'll help cut through the massive armor stack Zion got from his Randuits. Looks like Zion's going to keep going for attack damage, though. Interestingly to note, not a Sightstone Rush laner. There's the ulti in on towards Daydream, and not the best spot for poor Pobelter. They're trying to run away. Q lands with his fusion, gets the kill. A little bit overextended there. No wards, and Crepwood and a half.
Man, Coaster making these plays down bottom without even extra ward coverage in the jungle.
Yeah.
Nobody really with good vision on the map right now. And that's basically exactly what Shifter wants. He's glad if everybody's blind in this game because it makes it so much easier for him to land high priority spears.
Zion, too, will be on equal footing. Turret going to take some damage now. Tier 2, it's a 5 versus 4 for now.
Too many blind Lee Sin jokes. I'm sorry, I won't give it to you.
5 versus 3. There we go. Turret's going to go down. Inox also not in the best spot, but can turn into a dragon to get away. Zion jumps forward, doesn't land the Q on a Yellow Pete. Don't think it would have gone for it anyway, but still would have looked cool. Powelter back up in the mix. It's going to be 5 turrets down to 2 right now. Coast still in control pretty well here. Baron is on the table. Dragon's dead for now.
They also have the timer for the blue. Oh, they don't have the timer, but they have the camp cleared for the EG blue buff. So when it does come up, they will know about it. They have to go deal with this top wave, though. That's such a giant wave at their top turret. This will be a small lull in the action as Coast go to defend their perimeter.
So as we kind of go back into a lull, I want to point something out when we saw the gold tab up a second ago. So Powelter's the only guy who even has 7,000 gold on the team. He's at 8,000 for himself, so he's very far ahead of his teammates. Whereas Zion's at 9K and Wisfusion and Shifter are both at 8 or almost 9,000 themselves. So the big 3 carry forces are significantly far ahead of their counterparts here from EG.
Yeah.
And it's making the head-to-head matchups very difficult. Because you just like, well, I just have a better AD carry and just a better top laner right now.
Powelter has so much pressure on him. And a lot of the wins for EG, too, it is Powelter who takes control of the game. Wasn't able to do that this time because wasn't able to get out of lane quickly enough and go affect other areas. But man, is he trying his darndest.
And look at this build from Wisfusion. I was wondering where it would go. It is Ruin King Infinity Edge. And I like going back to it because I'm an AD carry player and it's interesting to me when they do different things with the builds. Because the order is usually really important. But, so it's a lot of upfront damage. He's going to hope to land crits on a pretty low crit chance. See where he goes next with it. Shifter has added Morella Namicon to his build. Said, you know, I don't really need magic resist. It's pretty much an entirely physical damage enemy team. So he doesn't go for Athenes. Just says, you know, tier Morella Namicon's enough for me.
It also ensures that he gets his power boost really quick.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait a long time to finish a whole death cap. Boom, you've got extra cooldown reduction, a giant chunk of AP, and they want to press the lead while they have control of the game right now. Keep up this massive amount of pressure. Powelter not with the rest of the team. They go for the hard engage.
Crepo, but it's going to be a stun on Nintendo. The Q coming across. Do they have the damage to take down poor Annie? Zion Spartan sure does. Jumps in now, gets a double kill, has a lantern, gets away safely. 2-0 fight. Javelin on Powelter. Fight's going better and better and better for Coast.
Yeah, they don't have a talisman upgrade on EG, so it's very hard for them to run away, disengage from this Coast team. And now they can chain this. So much vision control on the red side. You know, they did ignore the blue, but Baron buff, the purple buff, much more important. And Coast can secure it after that kill. Great turn.
What else they got here, Baron? Yeah, it's going to get popped. Mid-turret goes down as a trade, but heck, worth it for Coast right there. 2 of 3 dragons, 1 Baron. Check the replay.
All right, so spear, another spear onto Crepo. That's been brutal. Landed several of those this game, and once Zion comes in, there's no chance for them getting away. Giant double kill there for him.
An Inox flash thinking the kick might have been for him. It wasn't. It executed Snoopy there, but that was the flash there for Inox. Powelter on the split push. We have our first chance to watch Powelter versus Zion Spartan.
It's not even fair at this point, though, because Zion's been getting so many kills with the rest of his team. And
He's
he has
chasing him down.
Baron. Yeah, well, he's got Nintendo cutting him off. You gotta feel bad for Powelter in this situation.
Q lands.
He's toast.
Ooh, the Ruin King active. Yeah, that's a kick in the back of the head. Zion Spartan picking up another kill. Wasn't a fair fight. It's 2 for 1, but, you know, still, he won the battle. 8-1-2, by the way, top lane Lee Sin. The first we've seen of the LCS at all, at least in a very long time, certainly this season.
Oh,
he gets picked up by Inox. That's going to be nice for him.
Yeah.
Axe not going to land.
Gotta count those small wins
Yep.
when you're down like this. So they were able to take that red at least. Trying to defend. Outer turret, though, all the pings are blue, so Coast feeling very confident about running in on this one. Delayed defense here from EG. Oh, there he goes!
Tibbers comes in onto 2. Let's see if they can get much more out of this one. Nintendo trying to run away. Gets him McHale's. There comes the Javelin to the back. The battle's still going on. Hook onto Inox. The jump into the back line. Zion Spartan maybe overextended. Can't quite find the kill on a Yellow Pete. Jumps back over the wall. Nice escape there. A 1-for-0 as Inox falls. The mid lane siege still going on.
They really wanted Zion there. That would be a legendary shutdown. Good chunk of change, but they weren't able to grab it. And Powelter on the outside here. Man, we really said solo lane focused teams. Both of these guys. Turns out, though, Zion, much bigger influence on this game.
Yeah. And it was just corrected. Inox did play top Lee Sin before this split. Turns out Zion just having a better game this time around. Making the champion work. They're going to push down in towards the mid inhibitor. Zion zoning the entire team out by himself. You don't want to deal with this guy. Inhib's going to be going down 29 minutes in. Baron buff still on these guys as well for a minute and a half. And Coast looking so good here.
Yeah. Really, really hard here for EG. They don't have a whole ton of options. It's pretty much their bright star, Pabelter, gonna have to find some people off guard and hope for some numbers in his favor. EG maybe look for a bush gank now. They can't even defend at turrets, so they really have to catch somebody just making a mistake.
We'll see if they can find it. Pabelter is still rich. He has the damage to kill people.
He's searching for that solo kill.
Yeah, if it comes from anyone, it's him.
Well, Dragon popped up, so Pabelter has changed his course.
Hey, I mean, it's worth more than a kill. I would take Dragon over Champion kill almost any day.
Yeah,
helps the team.
It's a great comeback cool. That's a lot of bonus experience, too.
1,200. 1,200 gold for that one. It's going to help them. They're down 12,000, so 10 more Dragons and they're even.
Yeah, there you go.
Give us an hour. We'll be good.
That's a drop in the bucket so far.
A tenth of the bucket. Small bucket.
Fills up with 10 drops?
Yeah, apparently.
That's a small
You just
bucket,
did the math.
right.
Yeah, it's a thimble. Dropping the thimble here. Goes looking for the bottom lane push again. Javelin smacks the minion in the face. You heard that sound. You know he killed that poor minion. There's its soul right there. By the way, minions have souls. You just learned.
You just learned that?
I mean...
Thresh has been in the game forever.
I don't pay attention. I'm not a support player.
Not forever.
Only some of them know. Some are redheads.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Oh. Oh no, Yellow Feet, no, please!
Oh, goodbye. No. He drops. Crepo also down to half. Not the best thing right here. Inox trying to run away. He's going to survive. Culling doesn't do as much damage to him.
He said, sorry guys, I will at least shield you from this culling though.
Yep. Unfortunately, 1-4-1, but a lot of armor on that guy. Push in towards the Nexus. 2 inhibs dead. The jump comes in. Zion Spartan just making things happen. Down goes 1. Can they find more? Inox drops low. They get Pobelter as well. Everyone is just dying right now, and Coast barely taking damage. Oh, Daydreaming! Oh, he goes down. Ruins his desk. He face palms the desk. He headbutted his keyboard. Takes his perfect game away. 1-1-13. Daydreaming, shame on you for being greedy for the kills, but Coast are going to take sole control of 5th place with a win over Evil Geniuses.
And Zion really doing his work again, carrying Team Coast here. Beastly plays from him up top. I'm happy that we did get to see that Hydra Lee Sin though. He's a big fan of it. Got to show that it does work in competitive play here at LCS.
Did a great job against one of the typical top laners too. Tanky top laner, Shyvana, he at level 6 first, put the execute down right when there was level disparity, 6 versus 5.
Yeah, I was prepping this one with the, Lee Sin and Elisa are a great tower diamond combo early on Shyvana. He did it all by himself. The intention was just there to screen out the other junglers so they could have their 1 versus 1 fight. And Zion came out on top.
Turns out you just need Elise Sin. You don't need the Elise in general, so made it happen. It was well played, of course, Zion Spartan. Man, I like that sort of team. 9-1-6 for him, right? 15 of his team's 18 kills. He got his finger on that one. Top lane Lee Sin is just so much fun. One of my favorite champions as well. And you just get to feel awesome. He didn't rush a Sightstone. He kept buying combat stats. He just relied on buying wards himself and his trinket for the acrobatics.
He went for the awesome plays.
Made him happen.
To safeguard to the lantern instead of the just
As long as he got things to jump to.
Yeah.
Made it happen. Bought enough wards, though. He always had, I think, 2 in his inventory. So any progressive top lane Lee Sin's out there, keep wards in your inventory. Use them. You can get other items out of the Sightstone.
Once again, the unsung hero, though, Shifter, 1-10, or 1-0-10.
Yeah,
10 assists there. And he landed a lot of spears that didn't get, kills or assists, but just took a person out of the fight. Crepo, whenever Crepo caught 1 spear, he was pretty much done for that entire fight. He had to go back.
And that's really the things you have to look for is there's a lot of unglamorous plays that happen, right? Whether it's a jungler waiting for a counter gank, and that was the right choice to wait around even if nothing happens for it. And it's that Javelin's I don't get an assist for it, I don't get any extra gold for it, but the AD carry gets sent back to base, so we get this turret. A lot of facilitation there. And it's funny, too, because we know Shift to be one of the best mid laners and one of sort of the carry forces on this team. And even though his score doesn't reflect it, right? He's not on like an assassin, on like a high damage carry sort of champion. He's like, but my skill shot usage is going to give us objectives.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so yeah, the Nintendo screening up top where he was just camping in bushes. Just making sure that nobody interferes with Zion's play up top.
That's true.
Just leave him be. As long as we're
Protect
able
the
to
Spartan.
have that 1 versus 1, then he's going to
It worked
do his
out.
work.
Also worth noting, Nintendo retook the record. Ooh. 2 deaths this game. Still won, so
Were we
happy.
checking with Kiwi after the last game?
Yeah, he got 4, so he re-overtook
okay.
it. Yeah, all right, guys, going to check in how the teams stack up after today. In first place, with a little breathing room now, is Team Solo Mid. And in second, we still have Cloud9, 11 wins, 4 losses.
In third place and tying their longest streak ever with their 3rd straight win, it's CLG. Dignitas holds on to 4th place, and Coast now just 1 game back in 5th place.
I got to say, everyone above that, just 2 games apart as well. In a tie for 6th now is Evil Geniuses and Curse, and in last place, but showing new life with the win today, is XDG. Now, the LCS returns tomorrow with 4 big matches, starting with Cloud9 versus Team Solo Mid.
Then Evil Geniuses will face off against Dignitas, followed by XDG, hoping to ride their momentum when they battle CLG.
And our final LCS game is going to be Coast versus Curse there on the 4th game. The action gets underway Sunday at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European. Now we're going to throw it over to Riv and Zyrene for the North American Challenger Series as they kick off the second half of the Spring Series. Take it away.